I walked out on my husband after discovering he uses food banks on £160,000 income. It emerged that he would make himself look deliberately disheveled to gain sympathy of volunteers. Can you believe it? It says this woman has described walking out on her husband after discovering he was stocking their kitchen with food bank handouts, despite earnings more than £160,000 as a household. The woman, who has not been identified, took to Reddit to ask for advice after tiring of his deliberate deception. As it emerged, he would make himself deliberately disheveled to gain the sympathy of volunteers. Between them, they earn more than $200,000 a year, more than 4 times the area's average, according to the Mirror. Explaining her husband's frugality, she said he is deliberately thrifty. But matters came to a head when she came home to find the fridge filled with fresh produce and meat from the food bank, and she left to stay with her brother. She wrote on the internet forum, "I've been in a committed relationship with my husband for 17 years, and overall, things have been great. We've had a few rough patches, but what's important to note is that while he earns more than me and is considered the main provider, I have a substantial trust fund that ensures we're financially stable. I work part time as a teacher while attending university, earning less than him, and most of my income goes towards tuition. Our household income exceeds 200,000 K or £160 annually, while the average in our area is below $50,000 or £40,000. One ongoing issue we have is my husband's frugality. He likes to control my spending and have the final say on how he uses his earnings. It's worth mentioning that I've never used any of his income and have no intention to. However, the main point of my contention is his frequent visit to food banks. Despite having more than enough food at home, he insists on going to food banks to save money. He intentionally looks disheveled and uses our beat up car to blend in, even though he's never experienced food scarcity. I've explained to him the need for food donations in our community, even showing him social media posts from local food banks, but he remains indifferent. I suggested he volunteer or donate to gain first-hand experience, but he refuses. The unfortunate part is that since we've never short on food, most of what he brings in ends up getting thrown away anyways. She showed her husband posts from people who appeared to be in genuine need, asking if there were food left at the community larders. But she says he brushed it off, claiming those who needed the food should have gone earlier. She added, exhausted by the situation, I packed a bag and went to stay with my brother for the week, asking for space to think things over. My husband accuses me of overreacting, being vindictive, and threatens to go back to the food bank regardless of my feelings. All I want is to enjoy the rest of my week without being angry at my husband. Yes, I can let this go and not scold him, but the food he takes could have gone to people who truly need it. And commenters on the post were equally furious with this man. Many said it was unacceptable for him to take food from people who need it. One person said, a man making 200,000 K a year while married to a woman with a trust fund going to a food bank is unacceptable. While another added, your husband is stealing from people who are less fortunate. I'm frugal too, and I like to save money where I can. I use coupons, buy store brands from some products, etc., etc. What your husband is doing isn't frugality. is being a stingy person. What do you think? Do you think that it's wrong for what he's doing? I think it is. He doesn't need to go to the food banks. The food banks are set up for individuals who are in need, who can't afford to put food on the table and support a family and children or a husband and wives or whomever. And here is a man that's clearly, he has the means. He can support his family. His wife has a trust fund. She's working part-time and they don't need to go to the food bank. And I think it's wrong of him to do this. I think he's not being frugal, he's being a hoarder and he's being a very unkind person, because a kind person and compassionate person will want to take from others who need it when you don't need it. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think? Do you think he has every right to be, I don't even want to call it frugality, because he's not frugal. He's just being a very unkind person, stingy, a hoarder, all of those things. He's not a compassionate person, and he's being very selfish. That's my thoughts on that. So let me know what you think of this man. Do you think he is frugal? Do you think he's just, well, it's there, anyone can go and take this, have this opportunity to get free food when he doesn't need to do so?